Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We're live, and today's episode is going to be, a little triggering, a little depressing, but hopefully also motivating and enlightening. Just a lot of INGing, and with all that being said, on the docket, way too soon. What are you doing, Doug?
I didn't do that.
Alex, user error.
Before
Opens up Bumblebeer.
Bumblebeer, yeah. Anyway, starting it off, Girl Scout cookies are revealing to have toxic contaminants and dangerous metals.
All right.
Secondly, what is the verdict with these help signs in LA that are going viral all over the internet? And then the final topic of the day, a shocking piece of industrial history which will allow us to reflect on the reality of corporate greed. And it's a story that's quite a thinker. Yeah. So stick around for that. But let's kick this thing off. Now, Doug. Good. All right. Now, the first topic of the day is about Girl Scout cookies. Everybody loves them. We can't go without them. But we might just have to figure out a way to. We all like the peanut butter the thin mints and my favorite is the coconut, whatever. The rings with the coconut and the chocolate.
My mom loves a mimosa.
Yeah.
Or Samoa.
It's a Samoa, but I'd rather have a mimosa. And you're gonna really rather have a samosa after this.
Oh my God, brunches need to start doing that.
Samoas and mimosas.
Yeah, oh my God, that's genius.
And cocaine. So when we let's get to the story today. So Girl Scout cookies, what's the problem with it? Oh, they've been tested to have a dangerous amount of glyphosate, toxic metals, aluminum, arsenic, lead, mercury. Everybody's favorite peanut butter patties have the highest level of these heavy metals, and the Thin Mints have the highest amount of glyphosate. A lot to unpack there. First, what are your thoughts?
I don't know what any of those words mean other than US of A, so I don't care. Those are some 4-syllable words, and you lost me at 2 syllables.
The reality is, thank goodness for the FDA catching it, but why did it take this long?
Years.
Are you doing your job?
RFK, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. New people
Seriously,
in charge.
think about that. They're like, ooh,
red dye.
He doesn't even like the dye. We should probably get the lead out.
Oh my God. Yeah, get it out of Flint, Michigan's water too while we're at it.
You're asking too much.
I'm just saying.
Not to mention all the lead in the lead in all the baby food too that's been happening recently, like the cinnamon with lead.
So what kind of company are we talking about here? We're talking about a company that creates a pyramid scheme under the scope of education and development for young girls. Then they're like, this is strictly the sale of cookies now. It was like a competitor with Boy Scouts. We're going to teach you manageable skills, build character. Now it's like, no, bitch, get out there, sell cookies. And the more cookies you get, the more rewards you get. Get your friends involved because they'll make it fun. Come on. And then they're like, we're selling a crap ton off of the guilt of empathetic people and just people like Doug's mom and you addicted to cookies. But
y'all got to learn to say no to people.
Yeah, especially little girls.
No is so joyful. Just look right at some little girl with pigtails. No.
And again, a business concept built around knowing people can't tell these girls no. And we like the cookies.
No.
But you know what? They're still not selling enough. So this is the same company that was like, if a boy wants to be a girl,
oh my God,
they can also sell our cookies.
Would they ever be able to sell enough, though? I mean, at what point were they ever like, okay, this is a good amount?
Never.
Selling millions upon millions.
This literally sounds like a vaccine boardroom.
If you want to know,
there's never enough sold.
You brought up the whole idea of it being like a Ponzi pyramid scheme, though, and I was like, gotta admit that it's not a shocker that it went off for the Girl Scouts. I mean, look at all these freaking beauty shit they sell when they get older. Come join my, what was it called, Airy or something like that, and you'd have girls. It happened a few years ago, on Instagram. They would post their products and stuff on it. Oh my God, you should try it. It makes your skin glow. And it's a naturally just pretty girl. That was a pyramid scheme.
Oh yeah.
You don't see dudes doing that. We do it on Wall Street because it's better.
I just want to reference a thing that I saw today that was like, I sometimes take pictures of really pretty real women and put them on trans Reddit threads just to make people feel guilty.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
And I put 6 months into therapy feeling beautiful. All right. With a lot of chaos, we've gotten off the tracks. To bring us back, Silent, what are your thoughts on the great cookie scheme now turning out to be poisonous?
I mean, look, let's be real for 10 seconds. If you're going to actually read the ingredients of most cookies that you buy from a store, you'll see how many like preservatives each of them has and how many like artificial colors and things that you really should not be putting in your body.
There's definitely something addictive in
as Will's over here munching on Doritos.
the red
all that
dye
MSG in
that's gonna
there.
get banned.
All that MSG in there. Oh, dude, you're going to go for another bag in like 48 hours.
Oh, okay, Silent. While we've got you peeling this onion apart with us, I want to get your thoughts on this. I, especially like earlier on the live show, loved having like props and like things that had to do with the segments. I was thinking, let's get a whole bunch of these cookies and we could eat them. And one excuse to have delicious sugary cookies. I'm just doing it for the show, Mom. I just
I swear to God, I'll go back to the diet
6
tomorrow. I
boxes of
swear.
Yeah. So one great excuse to have a ton of candy or cookies. Then, it also, most importantly, reflects on the fact that I'm sitting here reporting they are telling us there's poisons, metals, leads, and problems in the cookies. And I'm still willing to be like, harmless. It's just a prop. But as I'm going to eat them, as I'm telling you, there's lead in them. Either I do not fear the lead, which is just like the blindfulness of American consumerism. Like we just choose to be like, I understand the words you're saying, cannot digest them. Or I do understand it, and I just don't think it's enough to kill me. And again, my ignorance to really what's going on. At this point, we've become so socialized to like the poisons and the problems that they could run up to us in our face and be like, Gushers will kill you. And I'll be like,
Faster.
faster.
Give me more.
Keep in mind, we are the country that literally put Coke in Coca-Cola.
That's wild. When you put it like that in this scheme of conversation.
I'm just saying, the fact that we're now like red dye, let's get rid of it. I'm like, baby steps.
Imagine, okay, take that point. Just like Four Loko when it used to have caffeine in
Back
it.
when it was fun.
Yeah, boom, that statement. I was just about to say, wait until they make Samoas, same cookie, same ingredients, no lead. And you take a bite of it and it's just like something's just off. Balance, pH balance, the whole thing. You're just like, man, give me Samoas back when the poison was in that shit.
I need the
tastes like
poison
shit.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, so Silent, what do you make of it?
Look, anything that you buy from the store that comes in a box, you have to be very wary of what is inside of it. Read the ingredients. A lot of times, even when you do read the ingredients, there's going to be some stuff that you're not going to be able to understand. And you're going to have to do a lot of research on the kind of like additives and preservatives and all that kind of stuff that they have inside of those cookies. So I'm not really surprised that these cookies are all contaminated, because you can imagine how fast the factory that does them probably rushes in order to, package them and have them in warehouses and ready for when it's, Girl Scout season for them to go out and sell. And I think it's probably a combination of them mismanaging their supply chains and the demand being extremely high, even though, like you said, the supply chain has clearly been found to be contaminated, but I don't think anybody cares. People want those delicious cookies.
Dude, it used to be limited supply, and now it's just everywhere.
Right.
All the time.
That's what I mean, right? And I'm assuming that's probably what drove the contamination to happen in the first place. Is because the demand is so high that they have to scramble and just go without like actually regulating the facilities that are making these cookies, that are, making the dough, baking it, mixing it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, And it probably somewhere along the supply chain got really sloppy, and probably why it's contaminated, because they're probably rushing and cutting costs and they want to maximize profit. Good old capitalism, baby. Let's cut those costs, baby. Let's take some lessons from Boeing. Let's cut the costs. Let's cut the corners. Let's try to save a buck here and there and maximize our profits. So I'm honestly not surprised, because we kind of have a similar version, the Girl Scout cookies here, but like what Doug said, it's extremely limited. And it's like you can only get it in like a certain window of the year. And if you don't get it, tough luck.
I wonder why that still is.
What do you mean?
Like why it's only a certain time of the year. I understood while I was younger, it wasn't as popular, but now these things are so popular. And it's kind of like no surprise that like, oh, they're not healthy as well. Like, I am so surprised that it's still like only to a certain time of the year. And then they come out and say like, oh, we're not selling enough.
Well, so, okay.
Like because of the consumerism portion of it.
Oh, yeah.
But before it used to not be. It used to be like a competition. If their complaint is we're not selling enough of them, it's like, oh, but you're selling it for like 3 months out of the year. That's why. Like do it longer.
No. They are like this comes down to, I think Silent more highlighted their point, which is they're overselling their supply to keep up with the demand on the supply chain. So let's get to like one of the more I guess brighter issues that stand out. When I talk about the lead, 24 out of the 25 massive samples tested for lead. So what this comes down to, okay, glyphosate, yeah, that is a bad ingredient to increase shelf life and make it look pretty when it comes to you, or make it taste a little bit better and hijack your psychology. That is an ingredient. The lead, there is no lab where they're like, throw in the lead. So we can't make enough of them here. They probably were making them in a factory bakery in America. Then couldn't keep up with it. Now it's outsourced. Now it gets moved. Now it's in a factory in China. And now it's like
Hades making Samoas.
Yeah. The lead, by the way, is probably the metal sheets that bake the cookies. It's probably just old, metal sheets that are probably rusted and exposed, and that should be changing. But because they probably never change them, because it's like you said, some factory in China or somewhere. That's probably why the lead is seeping into the cookies. I'm not surprised at all.
Right. And it is obviously either cheap equipment or a combination of that with the packaging or the packaging style, but it doesn't change. So again, this isn't just unfounded. Moms Across America has been raising this issue since December.
Moms Across America.
100% of the samples were positive for glyphosate. 100% of them were positive for toxic metals. The 76% were positive levels of cadmium, which exceeds the EPA limits in water. Lovely. Hey, but at least cookies, no fluoride. So you can eat the cookies, just don't wash it down with the water. Yeah, and then, 24 out of 25, 96% of them had lead. The interesting piece here, though, is...
I could live with that.
What?
Just the lead. Like, I got microplastics in my balls, dude. I don't care.
We're kind of at the point of no return, right?
I think the only one I care, actually is harming us is like the fluoride.
Can I be real with you?
Yeah, we got to get rid of that one.
So, not to I'll bring it back, I promise. My grandmother smoked cigarettes like crazy, and I waged war with her habit of cigarette smoking because grandma's killing herself. Did she not pay attention in DARE class? What was this lady thinking? She's killing herself.
I mean, I learned so much that I still live by those rules.
Day by day.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a day that goes by I don't I violate that. I don't violate it on a single day. So
okay,
I had to stand up to grandma. You're killing yourself on a daily basis. So I would hide these things. I would destroy them.
Would you really? Would you hide her?
Oh my God. When she passed away, there were cigarette packs all over her house, under the couches, behind the dresser. I mean, I literally had cigarette packs everywhere. And man, I look back at that and I was just wasting grandma's money because it wasn't stopping her from buying cigarettes. Like, it wasn't solving anything. It was just being a pain in her ass. So as much as I look back at that and be like, why wouldn't she quit? Why couldn't she quit? She knew she was killing herself. Kind of like the plastic in the balls joke. It's like, we're cooked. So
I'm cooking right now.
I tried so hard fighting my mom about like lunches that will come. The soup comes in a plastic container. You just warm it up. Or, you know, those TV dinners that you throw in the microwave. You just warm them up. Do you guys remember there was like a TV dinner with a penguin character on the front?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The
Dude, you
kids
get like a little cookie.
Hold on. You might get a cookie. You also might get like sludge brownie that like baked in the microwave. So think about this. You had brown sludge that baked in a microwave, in a plastic container, plastic balls. When you microwave that, and we grew up on that.
That sounds
our
so
development, and then we're
good.
like, but us frogs are gay.
And now we're just like, no. I love knowing your attempt to get your grandmother to stop smoking. All it did was create another son of a bitch. I gotta go to the gas station again.
And grandma, while we're out, let's stop at Blockbuster.
She probably knew it was you.
Oh no, I made it clear. And so she knew you were my hemorrhoid.
Your little ass cancer that these cigarettes are causing me.
No, I was the reason she was going to her next cigarette. Just this kid, I swear
I
to
can't
God.
even spark another. You hit it. Get in the car.
All right, so let's land this plane. Silent, what are your rapid thoughts on one of these sweet treat staples in America and a major, young character development program having a compromised product or good that they're pushing?
Yeah, I'm not surprised, honestly. A lot of these organizations start off as not profit and then they turn to for profit. And there's just a whole, 2-hour talk we could have about businesses and companies that do that. The whole ethical thing of, let's just start something to, raise money for the girls, just so they can have their activities and so we can fund this whole organization. And then it's like, oh my God, wait a minute. Let's actually profit off of this. Why just raise money to cover our costs? Screw that. Let's make money. And again, I'm not surprised that, as I discussed earlier.
Yo, OMG. Did you ever have these Silent Kid cuisines?
Which ones?
That is what they were.
That's what they were.
No,
Yes.
no,
You
never.
nailed it. All right, finish your point, and then I'm gonna.
No. I've actually never had those TV dinners before ever, so I've never heard of them. Kid cuisines. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna look that up right now.
I'm pretty sure they're still available.
These things were my childhood. These.
Let me
microwave
share the
dinners.
screen so you could see
Okay.
this. Like Doug said, this was our childhood.
Oh wow.
So
Both
and
our
then we're
parents
like,
worked.
none of us are reproductive viable because I don't know why.
Because the penguin on the box killed my
Because the
balls.
penguin on the box, yeah. Mhm. He snuck in there and stuffed them in plastic. You're cooked.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at that. You
Look
can
at that
cook
prick. He
a
looks so happy to feed us.
So look at him.
13 grams
Did
of
you have
protein. Oh my
microwavable,
God.
Like
They had
spaghetti and
Shrek.
meatballs.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah.
even
Look at
enough.
that brownie.
This is the real
13
Yeah.
grams of protein.
What were
is
those
not
things?
even
What were the
enough for
things
a
Logan
meal.
Paul made?
Oh yeah, Feastables or
Yeah, this was
like
it.
Lunchables.
These were like
Lunchables.
legitimate.
Yeah.
There's that brownie in the middle. Look at that.
Oh my
Nothing
God, that
like
brownie.
a microwaved bake.
Nothing like
microwave.
nothing like the shelf life of like a 6-year brownie. Just
So
warm
these
that
are still
son
a
of
thing,
bitch up.
right? I'm assuming they're not.
I think you could
discontinued.
probably dig one up at a Dollar General in
Yeah.
Idaho somewhere for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
expiration date's pre
Oh, yeah.
9/11 too, by the way.
I don't want to get lost on a separate road, Silent, but have you heard about these superstore droughts in like middle America.
Yes.
All because of Family
Food
Dollar.
desert. The
So
food
food
desert.
hazard, that's it.
Wait, what?
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Desert.
dude.
I thought it was food desert.
Food, yeah, no, that's it. Food desert. Food desert.
Yeah,
So
I've heard about that.
Family, these conglomerates like Family Dollar
Right.
come in and they buy out all of the local competition
Mhm.
in, let's say, Middletown, Ohio.
Like a population 100.
Yes.
Yes.
And the city next to it, the city next to it, and the city next to it.
Yeah.
They'll put out of the, let's say out of 4 cities, they just clear out the industry there, monopolize it. They'll have a Family Dollar in 2 of them then. So then 2 of the cities are forced to go out to like they're funneling them, and you only could go to Family Dollar. So your option, imagine your dietary options limited to what you could conjure up at a Family Dollar.
Those people are probably so happy though. They're probably so off the grid. Did
Maybe
you know
in
what my
some respect?
Do you
but I
know what
don't
my
dude.
first thought is whenever I drive through a small town and I haven't seen a Family Dollar yet? I just say, "Hey, there's a Family Dollar around the corner." And then the instant I see it, 1, I know they're broke. And 2, I know nobody's screwing with them. And 3, I know how they voted.
Yeah.
So all 3 things are right and they sound great.
I can appreciate your point of their happiness, because we look at it and we go, could you imagine being limited to a Family Dollar freezer?
And
And they're looking back at us going, that's half my freezer. The other half is literally a full frozen deer. And you're like, yeah, that guy's happy.
Yeah.
He's as happy as a pig in shit.
he sees us show up and he goes like, those people are bad.
Them city folk.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're Ohioans.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you could go into their Family Dollar and see something expired pre 9/11, but he's got the deer carcass in the fridge, so he doesn't care
And
as
that's
much.
fresh.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I just got that one this morning.
Right
Those
up.
peas were like September of 2000.
I took this one right out of God's freezer. All right. So, Silent, I want to give you the opportunity. Any other final wrapping thoughts?
So
with
yeah,
your
as
Girl Scout trees?
right as I was saying, obviously it's it's really a shame that something that started off so like wholesome and so nice got turned into a for-profit machine. But at the same time, like I said, I'm not surprised. It's just good old classic capitalism of, oh my God, there's an opportunity to make money. Guys, let's make money. Like it's classic. And I'm not surprised that this is the result of a rushed supply chain where they probably just don't care. Just sling them out, guys. Like, who cares? Just keep sending them. Oh, there's lead in there. Send it anyways. You know, they probably don't even care. And honestly, it's a shame. It really is.
It is a shame, but at the same time, and this will find itself full circle when we reflect in the final segment of the day, just with corporate greed. And we need to recognize who the real government is. It isn't us being controlling a democracy. It is an oligarch by the companies. And once you, at least that doesn't mean we're in a hellscape that has no answers and no recourse. It's recognize your enemy, recognize your situation, and you could actually have a positive impact or see the change you want. 24 out of 25 samples having lead is insane. And if the justification is always going to be, well, it's the only way we keep up with demand and keep costs down, then guess what? I guess Samoa is now worth $100 a pop, and that's just how it's going to be because the demand's just so high. Or you got to find another way, and I think that's partially on us too. Like, they don't need to make the change as long as you're buying it, as long as you're still keeping the wheels moving. Then, but there's multiple layers to this. It should be astonishing to us that it takes, like, again, the grapevine to bring these types of stories to the forefront. Why wasn't this pressing news a month and a half ago when it was discovered? Why is it
I know that answer.
Oh, is it money?
It was probably the border in the election. I think they took press over more interest And the Samoas.
That could be it.
Maybe
that
call me
could be
crazy.
it.
Call me crazy. I'll go to war against these girls. I don't care. I don't care.
Will you tell them there's no Santa?
To their face after I buy the cookies
See,
that are going to
you're
give
an
me
Ohio
cancer.
State fan, clearly. Clear as day.
I'm just saying this whole like Girl Scout cookie thing, like over the year, I've seen this thing turn into the cute little girls by the Salvation Army into this tyrannical movement of just like militant girls selling these cookies. Okay. Like I never looked at the Boy Scouts as this militant group. I'm like, oh, they're learning how to forage and like tie shit and not. And it's basic survival. I don't think the Girl Scouts even do that anymore. I think it's just
far from it.
It's just cookies.
It's
just cookies. Buy them or else. Like that's their motto.
Buy my poison or else.
Or else. You son of a bitch. So
She will follow you to your car.
that's what I mean. And then if you don't buy it, they're gonna scream and yell one word and almost send you to jail. Okay. So these are militant little girls.
Also found on the grapevine.
Exactly. So you want to know why the mainstream media is not talking about this? They don't want people to know about it. They don't want they're secretly. They're like, these are secret ops.
Yeah.
We can't talk about them.
They are literally on the Taylor Swift Pentagon payroll.
Yeah. The border, Doge, Gaza. Oh yeah, that's free reign. These cookies, this is where the real shit in this country is going down. That next to the families general.
I think it always leads to the same place. The dreidel people are behind this Girl Scout cookies too. It is what it is.
They made a cookie called Samoas. You don't see anything related to their culture. It's all over the goddamn place. They're now outsourcing it to like the specific like cookies, like natives. You know, the Samoas are making the Samoan. You got the Thin Mints in West Africa. You know, all that kind of shit. You know, not the Boy Scouts. They're just, you know, I want my new badge. Like that's all they care about.
The clear takeaway is the Girl Scouts are the ops, and it is on site. We are done.
Well, I know what this is another irritating thing. And this is what they've always saw. You know how I said like the military. The Boy Scouts have never had beef with the Girl Scouts.
Right.
Why?
No, they have.
Oh, tell us, Doug.
When the Boy Scouts decided to accept girls.
All right,
Oh, the
shut up,
Girl
Doug.
Scouts
That
had
one
beef
don't
with
count.
that.
That one. See, that's how militant they are. We wanted your group, bitch, to start selling your cookies as our cookies. That's the Girl Scout way. No, I don't like them. I don't like this anymore.
Here's what I have to say to you Samoa lovers, like myself. The Keebler elf also makes Samoas. So don't feel like your life is now cheated.
Oh my God, how
From
much
the
letter in
experience.
those?
What's that?
How much letter in those ones?
None, because we haven't looked. Just like you never have COVID if you never test yourself.
100%. 100%.
Idiot.
So don't support the Girl Scouts and support the Keebler elf. Now, Douglas, I kick it off to you for any wrapping thoughts.
Well, my ripping thought is what you kind of said at the beginning is who could say no to these Girl Scouts? Well, we've learned Will has no problem saying no to them.
Oh, I'll say no, bitch.
Yeah.
Say to their face.
And also, we've learned people in Ohio have no problem ruining little kids' days. So I think it's very easy to say no to the lead-tainted cookies this year. Especially
in Ohio. So our next topic here, I'm curious if anyone else here, jump in the comments if you're at all familiar with this craze that has been going viral across the internet. I assume the studio here is pretty foreign to it.
Oh, I have no idea what this
These
is about.
LA help signs that have kind of popped up. Now, first it starts off with a guy who finds on Google Map this abandoned lot where somebody has they've arranged all of the material in the abandoned lot to yell help, human traffico, FBI, crazy comments. And of course, the internet, who kind of, which often is quick to
Wins.
jump to a conclusion, they leap to the possibility of course, some wild conspiracy, and that there are shipping containers and a lot next to this.
Oh, okay.
And that they're suggesting. So why does it go so viral so fast? That there's clearly somebody trying to bring attention to the shipping containers that are probably full of humans that are being trafficked, and how this is such a terrible situation. Big deal. So as that develops, people start going
Yeah,
there.
I'm illegally parked on this bridge, but that's just fine. Let the cops come.
Is this silent?
Live streaming. Kick.com every day.
Live, baby.
Silent destroyer.
There's a dog, there's a person.
It's just trash.
Okay,
But-
there's the help sign right there. The big help.
And then when you see it, it's like, okay.
I mean, I
So-
honestly don't know if this is just kids fooling around or something real, but you can get into the yard through there because there's a hole in the fence right there.
Look at how much trash. Oh my god.
Right?
Oh my god.
Casual LA.
Something written right there. I mean,
Yeah, I think I actually saw this once. It was like, have you ever seen the movie Signs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of like, just a clean Middletown farmer, this is just abandoned lots in LA.
Trash. That's so much trash. If anything,
So
the only
much
thing I took
trash.
away was, wow, look at all that trash.
Yeah.
I feel bad. Because this very well could be a very serious thing.
Oh yeah.
But I'm
well,
like, look at how much trash is in the video.
But so again, here's another guy. He went to go investigate, threw his drone out. So it gets all of this attention. People are now investigating it.
Was this
like-
like trending on Twitter at all?
Yeah,
I
that's-
like,
that's-
Oh, yeah.
genuinely. I
It was
just-
all over
Yesterday it was
Twitter, yeah.
huge. And then it was pretty big on TikTok in the evening. That's why I was like, you know what, this probably is a good topic for us because it's
Oh,
getting
is your algorithm
it's-
back to how you like it, or
kind of, but still, it's still better than a lot of the other programs. But and for the people that are just listening to us, all right, we've got a dirt lot full of abandoned trash and construction material, and just help written in all these different ways. So again, like I said, it gets all this attention, and now internet personalities and people that just are intrigued start to go and investigate.
by the way, out of curiosity, do you know who's writing all these help messages and stuff?
that was my next question.
A guy named Jose? He's writing those messages over there? Why is he doing that? Do you know?
He needs help himself.
So it's just like, is he homeless or?
Yeah, I don't know where he's at, but he needs help himself.
So you see that big help sign behind you? He wrote that?
Yes.
Where's Jose? Where does he live? Or where does he
I have
stay?
No idea where he's at.
But you've seen him before?
Yes, around here. I told him to stop. Going to the property. He won't stop.
And he won't stop.
Yes.
So this whole thing is just some guy named Jose doing it?
Yes.
Okay. And the guys who came to talk about the dog that's no longer here are over there.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Are the police even privy to what's going on?
Well, so a lot of people have been blowing up the police, and they keep giving like the dismissal. We're looking into it, and hats off to this account. Oh wow, dude. Yeah, right. So not the FBI, not the LAPD. Oh wow, dude on TikTok has gotten the most on the ground, cutting edge news for us. He doesn't just quit with this hobo. No, he keeps moving.
What's
He
the name of
finds
the dog?
another-
Seuss.
Yeah,
And
Seuss.
Seuss belongs to someone
Seuss,
here.
yeah.
Okay, what's the name of the dog?
Seuss.
Seuss?
Yeah,
And
Seuss.
Seuss belongs to someone
Seuss,
here?
yeah,
Sorry about that.
Now
Yeah,
there's a different name now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Seuss belongs.
She's saying the dog's name is Seuss,
Oh.
and that's his dog. And if you recognize, that is the dog from the earlier clip when somebody was like, remember that not this guy who was interviewing the homeless person. There was a guy that's like, look, there's a dog, so that tells us someone's around here. This is that same dog. And this lady's telling us the dog's name is Seuss, and his owner, again, from a different person, is Jose, and that the person who's doing the signs is Jose.
No, she has an owner.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that dog is named Seuss.
Seuss. His
And
name is
Seuss has an owner, because you know what? She was tied up in the rain. He was tied, well, I thought it was a he. But
Yeah.
he was tied up in the rain.
Oh, wow.
And so I was filming because everybody wants to know why there's the help sign. You see all those
Oh,
helps?
this one guy, he puts that.
Is that guy's name Jose?
Yes.
Okay, that's what they told me too.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So
Yeah.
there's a guy named Jose
That's a
who just
leading
keeps putting
question.
help.
Yeah, right? Bad investigating.
Yep. I learned that in my journalism
yeah.
class.
Leading.
You can't ask a question like that. Leading.
No,
Leading
you don't
question.
do yes or no questions. Really, any leading question is a yes or no
Right.
question.
You
So
gotta
you
get
need
them
to.
to give the answer.
What was their name? Joe's. Oh, well, we're on the right track.
Oh, you want to know what I think this guy's really trying to do with these help me signs? This Jose dude, they're gonna show up and they're like, "Hey, man, do you really need some help?" He's like, "I need money." That's what this has all been for.
Well, close. Let's keep walking down that road.
So okay, I can't
Maybe.
wait to get to the bottom of this.
And is Jose here?
He's not here, but he's always like on that side of like under the bridge, like.
And he's just messes around.
Always writes that down. Yes, all the time.
The
Come on.
reason people are probably coming today is because they put it online.
Yeah, no, he's the one that puts it all the time. I'm not, but he puts it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, he writes it everywhere. I don't know if you see it everywhere.
Yeah, there's like help
Come on.
and then a bunch
Yeah.
of stuff in Spanish.
Yeah,
and-
he puts it. That's supposedly human.
Like, look at that. Not to cut off the video. I wanted to keep that going, but
Yeah,
Oh,
human
yeah.
trafficking. That's what everybody's saying online is that they're worried about it. Is it that, or is it like a prank? I guess
We
it's-
don't know. I mean, he just always, for some reason, it's been years that he's been doing
that he's
that.
been- yeah, it's been on.
Yeah,
Google Maps shows it.
Yeah,
for-
but
yeah.
we, really, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just always writes that down.
Yeah.
For what reason,
Yeah.
I do not know.
No,
But
I don't. Yeah.
Come on.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Doug's got a comment. What, Doug?
Well, he mentions Google Map is showing it. Like, who is just sifting through Google Map with this?
Oh,
so much
you'd be
time?
amazed with the
I
human
know there are
hive, dude.
people, but it's like, who has time to just inch over Google Map? Like, you always hear the stuff of
You'd be
here's an
lots of
abandoned
people.
this or here's a destroyed that
Dude,
on
the
Google Map.
human hive.
Dude, have you seen like streamers? They'll like actively like pull up like a Google image thing and then be like immediately be able to guess like where in the world it is. It's
But can
freaking
we
insane.
agree? Could we agree? Just basic statistics, Doug. Roll with me.
Oh, I know.
Could we
I know.
agree 1% of humans have nothing but wasted time to do anything that is wasted but productive?
It's just
something like
crazy.
this.
It's just
Can
crazy.
we agree 1%? So one out of 100. What if I tell you that 100 is 7.5 billion? Doug, we're still talking about over 750 million folks that have nothing to do but shove their thumb up their ass. Like, yeah, bro, that is definitely what. Yeah, someone found it on Google Map. You should find the crazy shit people are. When
They found
people-
Shia LaBeouf.
Iceland. Yeah, dude. Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
The
you
Shia
love
LaBeouf
that-
thing to this day just immediately proves like, oh, they found help signs in LA. Oh, anyways.
Yeah, another day in
Who
the
was
human
it?
hive.
Jose. Oh, all right. Like, fuck it.
Who was it? Jose. Okay.
No follow up. Whatever.
So again, everybody and their neighbors trying to figure out what is the story here. Crazy signs. It's not all just help. What's with the human traffico? So we need to get to the bottom of this.
Why did he stop it at Traffic Ho? He's probably got so much shit there. Can you like not spell it?
Because traffic code
You know
is
what I mean?
Spanish
It's Spanish.
for traffic.
Oh.
Jose.
All right, yeah, me gusta. Sorry, man. That I racially profiled that man. That's on me.
No, you racially profiled him.
I'm looking at him like, dude, blue ribbon skull. Come on, dude. It's trafficking.
So
Did that take you a second?
It took him a second. That's what
no,
made it
just
funny
the way
for
you
me.
said it. All right. So everybody and their neighbors try to get to the bottom of what's going on with Jose in these messages. And it's not just, hard-heading independent journalists with an iPhone. People of the silent kind, the streamers, needed to get their nose in it too. So here's the Phase Boys from TikTok giving it a look.
The more we stay here, the more we.
Is there any chance you'd like to do an interview for our documentary?
Uh-oh.
You say come here? Yo. I ain't gonna lie, you got that, gang.
Get out.
So check that out.
Just gonna get out.
Yeah, right?
It's a little sussy right there.
Thank you.
Joe, you recorded my coming out.
Yeah. Did you get that, dog?
As if they don't record at every moment of their life.
Oh, hell no.
Dude, we're in such a bad
They're
area.
looking at us with the fucking windows down now. Yo, I'm getting in front of y'all. Fuck this.
So Silent. I'm glad you're here as I give the final piece of this puzzle, and then I want to go around the room and even to OMG WX, Brad Richardson, Just Another Day TV, all the folks joining us in the comments. I want to get a round table verdict on what everybody's kind of making of this. So the last piece of on the ground content we have to really sift through are streamers that we're doing, first off, when they go in it, somebody releases a whole slew of dogs and they get chased out of it. Then, and I would have showed the clip, but it was a really shoddy clip. So really, really not even worth our time. Then when they really start snooping around, if we notice, they're snooping around on that same street where the other gentleman gets told that Jose is over there. He's the one doing it. And we really don't know what it's for, but he's like really concerned. Okay. As they're around that location, a tinted out Chevy truck, doesn't look like a homeless person's truck, if you ask me.
No.
Rolls up and goes, get the hell out of here. You're sniffing around. Now, what this lot saying help, human traffico, FBI, we need SOS, is right across the street from the LAPD. Right across the street from all of the shipping containers that the tinfoil hat folks say the people are in. So, I am told, first off, that's the material, all right? Jury of our peers, what you are given, this is the tangible evidence to weigh. The non-tangible evidence that ties it all together, the bow on top, is the narrative. Brad Richardson out here telling us CNN covered it. The narrative then from the talking piece is, oh, it's just Jose looking for his dog. He needs help looking for his dog. He just needs help looking for his dog. And you know what? I am intrigued. Occam's razor says, shut up and accept it. That is what makes sense. But I flip it to you, the jury, because while the majority of the message is help, if you look at the bottom left corner, FBI, it's along here that you see human traffico. Let me get you the other pictures even better. But why, if it's just help, look for my dog, why are we trying to compel the FBI? And where does traffico come in?
In that video too?
Here, perfect. Sorry, this was the picture I'm looking for. Human traffico. Why? If it's all help, I'm looking for Susan, Hassan, whatever his named his dog. I'm looking for Croissant. Help. I'm looking for my dog, Croissant. Human traffico. I don't know. That's when it gets sticky. So, first, Brad Richardson says, something I'd like to point out is, if I may, I'd like to show how the appreciation to the Trump staff and the Army Corps of Engineers that have come into the WNC to save lives and cleaning up the Helene damage. Also amazing. Nobody's spelling out help there. One, because they're getting help, and we're finally cleaning the trash. And the money that was going to the people that weren't paying the taxes, that spigot dried up. Yeah, I agree. Brad Richardson, great moment in time. But keeping grounded with the jury, please strike that from the record. Do not let it cloud the judgment of whatever the hell's going on in LA. That's what I want to get to the bottom of. Silent, starting with you. What do you make of this?
I might have to go there and do an IRL stream whenever I can, though, for real.
Take me with you.
Yeah, because that was like that reaction was kind of was
the
kind
Chevy
of weird.
truck, you mean?
The Chevy truck that pulled out, and then how they all just kind of like folded and said, "Yeah, we're out of here." And honestly, I get it. They're in a seedy, sketchy part of town. You know, I would probably do the same thing too, even though they
public street though, man.
They were outnumbered, right?
Yeah,
but
I'm not testing the truck.
At the same time, yeah, like that truck was not a stock truck. It was a heavily modified truck. So that tells you two things usually when it's a heavily modified truck. Either they're, dealing some sort of humans or drugs or both. Who knows? Because that's usually who heavily modifies trucks, especially in that particular style. where they lower the truck instead of like raising it, you know, and then they put a muffler delete on there. And yeah, it's, you know, we're kind of generalizing and stereotyping here, but that's just my assumption, right? Just from seeing that truck. Now, as for, is it just a bunch of homeless people or Jose looking for his dog? I don't buy that personally. I think there's something way shadier going on, and Jose looking for his dog is the cover story, or at least that's what someone came and probably told a homeless lady to say to people if they come asking. And, you know, she's a homeless lady. Dude probably paid her like $100 to just keep saying that and keep that story alive. You know?
Oh yeah.
Like,
You just go
I got
around
my
the
tinfoil
homeless
hat
park.
on right now, and honestly, I'm telling you, like, something's going on there. Something.
Hey,
shady.
can I flip another piece of I guess like extrapolated evidence that I take from this? How does the whole park of folks know his name? Right? Like, I could see $2,000 gives me $20, $2,100 bills. I walk around to the 15. I don't know how many folks are there. I'll give you $20,000. I get 17 homeless folks. $100, $100, $100. I'm Jose. If anybody asks about what's going on over here, Jose built those. Okay, smokes it dry and then goes, "You're asking?" It was Jose. The only reason that seems to be the Occam's razor for me, the more likely, the thing that I just totally hypothesized and fantastically made up, why does that seem more likely to me? Because let's just say Jose, even if he is just one of the neighborhood gang, hangout crew,
Right.
and they know his name, that could be it. And Jose's the one doing it. I will totally concede if they just know him because they all stand around the barrel and then that's the guy that ends up doing it. Okay. But it also feels like if just a stranger, a fellow homeless person, I don't know how acquainted they are, but I don't think they're all in unison that acquainted. And it would seem more likely to me that something was orchestrated in there for a sign that got the attention. It clearly worked. What they were trying to do got the attention it was calling for. And how many homeless folks are like, "Hey, what's your name?" And he's just dragging like a 50-pound plastic pipe, like, "It's Jose. I am Jose." It's just like, I don't think he's stopping while he's building the help signs. Something tells me there's not this exchange where the whole yard knows the name of the guy who's doing the project. Most of the time, even if it is a crazy guy, I'd be like, "Mind your own business, bag," and just keep doing it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's never a, "Oh, hello, I am Jose. I am looking for my gato." I don't know.
I like how you do characters.
What are your thoughts?
I think
What are your thoughts? Like, give me, you're the jury. Where do you come out on this story?
Personally, I don't think anything is fucking happening there. I don't. I think it's like the armored cars and shit. It's probably like you have I don't know what I think it is. I think that's a homeless encampment. I've seen The Wire. Those homeless people, they all know each other. They all know each other. They have no one else to know because I don't associate with homeless people. You don't. Silent doesn't unless he's probably live. Yeah. All those people know each other, right? You know, acting out for whatever reason.
The meth was good.
And those armored vehicles. How do we know they're not cop vehicles? That they're just like, okay, now we
that's
have all
what we're
these.
saying.
That's what I mean.
It definitely seemed like a Fed.
Do I think that there's human trafficking going there, and some homeless individual named Jose is building all of this to like get the world to notice it, as if like, I don't know, the federal law enforcement agency doesn't have an idea that maybe something going on there, you know? The instant I've watched The Wire, it all changed for me. Like the way I kind of view it. It's like Occam's razor, 99% of the time is the reason. We had all the MLK and RFK and JFK files come out, and we're all like, oh, because it really was just that kind of like black and white. And it's like, yeah, it probably really is more. Probably is more in that line. And I'm not going to come on this freaking show if it ends up being human trafficking and be like, I was wrong, because I'm just some dude in front of a mic. This isn't like the football show where I'm going to eat my words. Don't care about the Jose thing. I don't think Jose's seeing anything going like, FBI, did you know about over here? And they're probably like, this guy's ruining for us.
See, but and I can appreciate it. I accept where your jury vote has been guided. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that the narrative was that it was actually carried out by a Jose. We're just taking it at face value.
True.
What we're getting through the grapevine. But I appreciate your point of like, it doesn't seem like we'll actually ever really know. It also does seem with a Fed truck rolling up that there are entities that do know and are either keeping us ignorant to it, like, drones over New Jersey. That makes me worried. Or they, and they're just not let us know for safety or whatever, or they're trying to cover something up. Or it's just a Jose that had some good stuff and was high one night and was just messing around.
I think it's actually human trafficking going on there. Once I saw that Fed truck pull up, because I was under the impression, I'm like, I don't think that's for drugs. I think it's a Fed truck. He's probably seeing these kids show up with cameras, and he's like, get out now. And the only other people we have to interact with there are, homeless people, which we've seen videos of the home. We haven't seen Jose.
I guess it's true. It's just a dangerous situation.
And it's just kids. Like, we don't need you near here if something goes down.
Yeah.
And how do we know a homeless person didn't see someone go into a shipping container and was like, sure, their mind went human trafficking, when in reality, it's like you walk in there and you go down steps and all of a sudden you're underground. We don't know what's going on there.
Right. No, I can appreciate it. Brad Richardson says, in my opinion, there's some of that good dope. I got them all cleaning. I can agree.
The only reason why I truly think it was a
too.
homeless person, a homeless Spanish person, is the fact that it said Trapico.
Oh, it's definitely a Spanish person.
Right.
But we need to acknowledge where they're located. And a lot of the trafficking is through the cartel who is now currently waging war against America. You're going to learn today. But that's a conversation for another day.
You do that next week.
I'm going to try not to. But my heart really, really wants to. You see me here today, and I'm not talking about Selena Gomez. That's progress. That's progress.
15 years ago, this dude would have been eating it up.
And Selena Gomez, of all people. And she's dead to me.
She was 15 years ago. She was definitely not dead to him.
Oh, no.
She was making him rise from the dead, if you catch my drift.
Hey.
Everyone's got a first bone in
Petrified
man.
wood. So, my last sales thought here, because I do tend to lean more towards silent just because I have a schizophrenic instinct.
Mm-hmm.
I understand where logic grounds us. However, the one thing that makes this murky water, we're talking about LA,
right?
Which, again, the city of angels. This is the devil's town. And what are they just recovering from? Like a terrorist attack level of fires that series of videos on videos are showing homeless people in orchestration setting the city on fire. And when you listen to fire experts, these weren't just lit fires by happenstance. This was out of season in specific locations that would totally light up the Palisades. That only happened because of where they were strategically lit in conjunction with each other. That is what has illustrated to the logical thinking man that this is an orchestrated event. And with the videos where they are clearly with torches, I mean, the videos of neighborhoods, citizen arresting, immigrant-looking homeless folk that are just with torches in their neighborhood. And crickets. Not a word being reported to us about it. So I'm, of course, supposed to take the word of CNN when they report to me what's going on in this lot, as they're giving me crickets on the reality of what's going on in LA on the other side of the coin. And again, this thread that just seems to tie it all together is what's the common thread? It's these homeless people. Yeah. So one could just be a symptom of schizophrenic craziness. And like Brad Richardson said, it could just be the good dope floating through. It's the blue smack that everybody's crushing. You never know. However, the human traffico piece makes it seem something that isn't just looking for a dog and something that's just crazy. And when we know, I guess the thinking community has totally internalized the way these youthful children are being transported is shipping containers. It's like I'm looking at the Orion's belt of demonization. Shipping container, lot crying for help, LAPD. And when the Fed truck comes out and goes, get out of here, I will believe, I'll tell you publicly, I'm going to believe that it was sending them away for their safety, and that way we're not bringing everybody here and creating a craze. But something in my gut tells me you don't want people snooping around, because the people that would be the greatest detectives of snooping around that joint had it right in their front yard, and it didn't become a thing until Bob in Arkansas was the 0.01% of losers on Google Maps and found something, and it resonated with millions to make it one of the biggest trending topics on Twitter. So something's fishy here, and I guess like every other instance that led me to this point, I'm forced with the holes, because there isn't true clear connection. I'm forced to accept that this is more likely than not just a crazy person. But like COVID had taught me, how many coincidences before it is mathematically impossible? And that is a statement we truly need to recognize. I mean, after a decade and a half, how many coincidences before it is impossible mathematically for it to be a coincidence? All right, so the verdict is split. I'm thinking it's something possibly wild. Silent definitely thinks there's something worth investigating there. I definitely can resonate and appreciate the side where it's like, it's spelled out pretty clear. Doug, Will, they confidently believe it just is. Doug, did you get to give us your verdict yet?
I did not.
Give us your verdict.
I did not.
I really don't know. I mean, I think it's shady that vehicle rolled up. It is a public street, so what was that person going to do? And if they were live streaming, it would have all gotten caught on video, and we would have had more information than we have now than them running away. So I don't know. Like, I don't really know exactly what to make of it all. Hopefully some facts come out at some point, though.
That's fair. So Doug is a hung jury. Will, Brad Richardson, of the belief that it's clear as day, Occam's razor. This is just a crazy person. OMG, WX, do you have any thoughts on where you come out on the verdict? Maybe it is just the haze of a hangover Diddy party. You never know. But clearly, it isn't clear cut. Clearly, it isn't clear. Where we have a pretty split 2v2 and one split in the middle. There's enough here to raise an eyebrow, far from enough here to say with conviction that there's something beyond a homeless Jose messing around with some trash. So that's where I think the story's left. But obviously now, as we raise it, keep your eye to it, because who knows how that develops moving forward. Silent, any wrapping thoughts before I move it to the next topic here?
Yeah, just agreeing with Doug here on his point that the guys that were live streaming should have probably kept going or just kept hanging out just to kind of see what this whole thing is about.
Who are you?
Or
Let me
ask
get your license
exactly.
plate for my streamers.
Yeah, something, right? Like
federal.
there should have been some sort of investigation done. But then again, they probably didn't want to break Twitch's terms of service, which is, very easy to break. So I'm not surprised he just folded and walked away.
Fair.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think as time passes by, we will see more people do a full, deep citizen journalist investigation. We'll probably see more streamers there too. And I think as time goes by, we will know exactly what's going on there. Just give it time.
I love that. I love that point. I think I've kind of fleshed out my position on it because I lean towards the skeptical conspiracy side because that's my dangerous instinct. However, I'm at least logical and grounded enough to admit there's more, if not more, eligible evidence leaning the other way. So, with that being said, Will, I flip it to you. Any other wrapping thoughts before we move on?
Not really. I mean, like it could be something very well, but I think the easiest conclusion is always people like to fuck with other people.
And clearly that guy had a lot of time because like that
It's
was
not like
a
he's got
lot.
to clock in for work.
That is work.
You know,
I gotta do this. I gotta
that
do
was
this.
his day, dude. He was on a mission. Maybe he wanted to be human trafficked. It's like,
Come get me.
I need a job. No, that's what I mean. Like,
I need a gig.
yeah. And like, as for like the police, I mean, maybe they got like wind of like this story and they were like, all right, people are going to start showing up here. We need to just like scare them out.
Yeah.
Or they're hiding something, you know. But it's like, but my Occam's razor is always more than probably nothing on it.
Right.
You know, it is what it is.
Doug, wrapping thought.
I kind of said my rep, and I really don't know what to make of this yet. You know, like I hope someone actually gives further investigation, doesn't give up when some random car comes up.
Seriously. So, final topic of the day. This one, it's not breaking news. It's more of a historical piece that follows the industrial industry, and it's a historical piece though that shouldn't be forgotten because while this did happen early in the 19th century, it still is something that continues to haunt us today in its own respect. So let's let it go.
1983, a shocking accident marked the history of industrial diving. 5 divers were sucked into an oil pipeline after opening a valve due to an immense pressure difference. The force dragged them, along with their equipment, to a higher section of the pipe where there was still some oxygen. When they regained consciousness, they faced chaos. 2 colleagues had severe fractures, while the others suffered injuries. Surrounded by darkness and a mix of oil and water, they knew waiting for death was not an option. Despite their pain, they decided to crawl through the pipe in search of an exit. After an hour of extreme effort, Chris, the fittest of the group, reached a completely submerged section. Without diving gear, he made the toughest decision: to dive alone in search of help, promising to return if he survived. On the brink of suffocation, and with luck finding lost oxygen tanks, Chris surfaced in an open area and was rescued. Exhausted, he reported the dire situation of his colleagues and begged for a rescue mission. The company confirmed that the survivors were still alive after hearing responses from within the pipe. However, due to the high costs and potential financial losses, they decided to abandon the operation. 5 days later, the company announced the divers' deaths. Autopsies revealed they survived until the 4th day, but succumbed to a lack of oxygen and despair. What could have been a heroic rescue turned into a tragedy driven by corporate greed. Chris sued the company, but decades later, the case remains unresolved.
Still unresolved. So
Crazy.
it's a gut-wrenching story right off the bat that like a human had to endure this to begin with, even if you're just the front human that by the skin of his teeth almost suffocated, but swam through oil. Like that graph doesn't like totally separates you from like, this wasn't water. These guys swam through oil and came out the other end, and the company knows 4 other guys are in there, but we would have to stop oil production, and the costs do not outweigh the cost of a human life. The fact that like that's still being litigated because the courts are like, nah, we get it. But if it was the other way around, like you through manslaughter took the life of another human being, then it becomes this whole empathetic civil case where he stole this daughter's father. And what is the value of this man? They evaluate his career. They evaluate the familial loss to the people around them. And we're talking millions upon millions of dollars. Now, that means there is a likelihood that the cost benefit analysis was how long do I got to shut this thing down? Boss, it's going to be at least 12 hours. That's like $500 million. I'd rather give their wives $20 million each. So leave them. That was the decision.
Crazy.
And the courts are like, they weighed the numbers. And the numbers spoke. Ah. That is insane.
That stresses me out.
Yeah, that stresses you out because you live in a world where, like, definitely tune in Thursday to hear Silent and I, parse apart the balance of just the criminal justice system and law and order. But it's funny when you have these cost benefit analyses. Someone like Michael Malice says we need anarchy, and if we had private police, then we could hold them accountable. And it's like, but with anarchy, you eliminated the court system. So when you want to hold them accountable, the private police, where do you sue them? This is kind of that same situation where it's like, I thought I had a legal system I could lean on. So like if I went out into the world and was harmed by a corporation, or at least my lineage, my estate, would get some sort of reconciliation. Like, imagine you didn't even die. You're the guy that lived. You can talk. You are a squeaky wheel that can keep squeaking. And you had to swim like a football field in oil. And you almost suffocated. And you're like, I don't even get enough.
You want to know what's the most fucked up part about that? Is the 4 guys that were still in there were under the assumption that he just died swimming.
Yeah.
So they were like, we're screwed. And you know what the top brass said? They don't know he made it. They can't hear us talk about
He's
it.
like,
Point,
man,
yeah.
he's stuck in that sludge like a fossil. And literally he's sitting at an Applebee's.
He and the wife went for the 2 for 22.
Dang, man.
I can't
You
believe
guys
they're
are
not,
going so
I can't believe
dark.
they're not going to go. Oh, come on. You got to make light of it at some point. It happened a while
If you don't
ago.
laugh, you will cry.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm trying. I just said I'm so stressed. Now I'm laughing about Applebee's. Could you imagine like just having that? Like I can't, they're having the 2 for 22. I can't believe they're not getting those assholes. As he's looking at the check they gave him.
But I could come here like 6 times a day for the next 200 years. They did give me a fat check.
Oh my god. Oh, those poor bastards that got stuck. That's what I'm saying. It's like they had
Insane.
no idea what was going on. They're just under the assumption that he's dead.
Also, imagine like, again, like the Titanic submarine. You had such a
Ocean
lack
Gate.
of understanding of physics that you created a vacuum. I don't know if you've ever done this. I haven't. But I have the ability to imagine. Imagine, I don't know, a metal tube sucking your organic vessel through that metal tube like a vacuum. Like within seconds, you're in a tube, sucked in with oil, and you're just like, shit.
I don't know. I've
Crazy.
seen a
I'm
fucking
also
toilet.
imagining like they're in there for what was it, like 4
They
days?
said 4 days.
And they're like, yeah, I really don't think he made it. And imagine being the 4th guy back, and through the sake of survival and determination, you're just like, well, then I'm gonna try. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not. We ain't moving. And you're like, but I want to try. No.
It's not even, we're not moving.
And you've got like some brat at the front, like, I ain't moving. Come on, dude. I want to try. Nope. We're gonna you're gonna kill us all. Yep. Dude.
It's so, well, one, I would have known that would happen because I've seen a toilet. So I understand that it goes down and keeps going. I don't know the circumstance of the room they were in, so I don't know if they
Dude,
touched something.
black
In,
dark
That's-
tube where half of it is like oil.
no, I get that. I mean, before they went in the tube,
Oh yeah.
like when they were just like up there, like, yeah, how'd the day go? Whoa, you know, we're making way too much light of this whole thing. But
I would agree.
no one
God.
asked you. So I'm just saying, it's like from like the corporate aspect of it, it's just like, what price of the human life are we going to put on this?
Yes.
But the idea, not even the idea, just the knowing of like this squeaky wheel, as you like to refer to this one man as, you had to live the rest of your life knowing, like, those 4 guys never like.
Oh no, I could imagine. Like clearly, this wasn't like a physically unfit or obese person. So I'm sure they've had physical, like, some sort of physical.
Oh, these are guys who work on a
background.
rig. They work probably like their ass off.
I imagine
Manual
that
labor.
guy more so just is like, thank God for mom making me swim laps. I was a good
Oh
swimmer.
yeah, I mean, like,
And
for
I
that.
got out of that. Like,
Well, they
I-
said like some of them are like in the back, like they had like fractures and
But-
stuff, and it's like, man,
it's kind of like that road in Mexico where, like, for God's praise, you walk a mile on
On your
glass and
glass,
stuff. So it's kind of like,
yeah, that's not crazy or anything.
well, to me, I imagine he isn't carrying as much of a curse because what's liberating from that is knowing I didn't hold the knife.
Oh,
This
right.
is, you killed those 4 men.
Yeah.
Like, imagine walking the mile on glass on your forearms and you liberated those men.
Especially
Like, if you died, everybody dies.
Yeah.
You survived. You had the key. You were the savior. And that guy pulled the trigger.
you handed them the key and they threw it down the drain.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah.
like, nah.
It's kind of like I don't carry a sin. I more carry a vendetta or an anger because I watched you pull the trigger.
And now you get to spend the rest of your life fighting.
I could have promised you he probably can't even do it. He's got to like make his wife do it. He surely has to have like a phobia of pumping gas.
No, I don't think he does.
Oh, he rebels in it.
I would understand a
Like
swimming
Zoolander?
phobia, a phobia of swimming now. Like, dude, or
Yeah, that
tight
I-
spaces,
that I could definitely- oh my God.
claustrophobia.
You want to go caving?
Oh my god! Not just that, but put him in like one of those like hyperbolic tanks where like you like float on the water for an hour.
Oh yeah,
and
the
shit.
saltwater
No,
tanks.
how about
yeah.
remember? I know I've told the story on here before, but when I went to Atlantis in Dubai and they have the slide that goes in a
Yes.
loop,
Yep.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's the one where you stand,
Yeah.
and a girl that was with us on our trip went up and got stuck at the top of the loop and went back down and was
Ooh.
trapped in the thing. And I am an American, ignorant American. All I know is English. She was like a super brilliant chick and she knew like 10 languages. She screamed help in every language she knew. Just, and they had a door that let her out. She's to this day never been on a water slide since. So it's like, imagine throwing him in that water slide. I'm like, hey, come on, we're just having a hot summer day. We're in the Bahamas.
Dude, that stressed me out hearing what happened. to
Yeah,
that
hearing
girl.
that is terrible.
I'd have been like, oh, piss on Atlantis. I don't need to go back. Let me go in the one where I can look up and the shark is right above me. That's a fun one.
Imagine getting stuck in the shark tube. All right, Silent, what are your thoughts on this story?
Yeah, it's honestly it's brutal. It's sad. It's not surprising, Good old capitalism. Like as we talked about before, like the profits are the most important things. Profit, 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 baby. Oh, we got 4 of our divers stuck in the oil pipe. Let them get stuck. Who cares? We're gonna lose $500 million if we stop the oil, And it's honestly extremely unfortunate. And to me, this also is a massive red flag in the sense that how do these divers not have the proper equipment nor training to get themselves out of a situation like this in case something like this happens, which I assume is probably common if you're down there diving and welding and, working on pipes underwater. I assume this is not the first time someone got sucked into the pipe, right? Like, you would think that that's something that they would accommodate for.
I thought this is a one-off incident.
No,
And-
dude, I imagine not to cut you off, Silent, but I got to imagine we'd have stories like this again. And what I imagine is it hasn't happened because it creates all of these safety protocols.
Oh yeah.
Like that's where the agencies come in. You have, what is it? OSHA. Like
Mhm.
OSHA
OSHA, yeah.
only exists because
Crazy stuff.
Steve Zatorsky nails his hand to his desk, and they're like, "All right, put that on the list." Like,
Yeah.
OSHA just keeps building because
Dude, you know the OSHA person hears one and he goes like, "Oh, that's a good one." Just writes it down.
Yeah.
Like, adds it to it. I mean, yeah, they didn't think the Titanic was going to sink, and then after they're like, "All right, how do we keep
It
that from
was
happening again?"
unsinkable.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
the
again-
unsinkable
Yeah.
ship. How many trips
The
did it make?
unsinkable ship.
Half. Halfway there, all the way down. Guess we had to fix that for the next one. So yeah, I'm sure they made these toilet tubes better for them.
probably. So I'm sorry, Silent. Finish your thought. I was
No,
just saying,
yeah,
I don't know. I
that's-
think it probably was the first time.
I would assume so, right? Because you would think that they would give divers like supplies to, maybe fight some sort of sharks or some sort of animals. Lights, maybe some bright lights. But again, I'm sure the lights won't work since, like
A
you said, they were literally
transmitter
sludge and
beacon or
oil,
something.
Yeah, maybe some
Bro,
sort of transmitter or
It
some
doesn't even
sort of
matter if they know where
harness.
you're at. They're leaving you there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
They
like,
had all the
in
equipment to find them.
They knew exactly where they were, and they were
Yeah.
like, "No."
Yeah, they're like, nah.
Flush it with the oil.
Like, nah, just keep the oil.
Oh
pumping,
my
yeah.
god! I wonder how many miles they got.
A good amount. They became one with the oil quick.
And by
That's
the
how
way,
oil
the
works.
fact that
Dude,
they
one of them went for like
survived
33
for
miles a gallon.
No, literally a triceratops was like, first time here, right? Just like the meme with James Franco with the rope around his neck. First time as oil, huh?
I wonder how many jokes they made down there.
None.
At some
I'm
point,
gonna go out
at
on a
some
limb and
point,
say none.
at some point, you got to crack a joke. You got to crack a joke.
Want to light a cig?
Yeah,
You're right.
man. I wish someone had a lighter right now. One of them, I do, and it doesn't work.
Honestly,
You know what? That would have gotten them down there to rescue them. Like, we're gonna light this lighter and hope
I don't think it would have
out.
rescued them. I think they would have lit up.
All right, Silent. I promise you get to go.
Well, if they had a lighter, they probably would have survived 4 hours versus 4 days. And by the way, the fact that they survived for 4 days shows you how amazing the human body is. You can literally be
Yeah,
submerged in oil and be alive for 4 days. Like,
Crazy.
goes to show you how insane the human body actually is.
Those poor bastards.
And you really don't want to test
Those
it.
poor bastards. I'm surprised they didn't turn this into a movie where Mark Wahlberg was in it.
Oh my god, right? You'd think
Right?
that
He's
would
the
be a
swimmer.
movie.
Like a
That
monk
would
or
be.
He
a
was the one
movie.
swimmer who made it, and he's at the Applebee's like an hour into the movie. Like, can't believe they're not doing it.
Can I get another margarita with the endless margarita spaces? All right. Crazy story. Silent. Give us your full thought because we refuse to
Yeah.
let you have that.
I know,
And make
Will,
it your
God.
wrapping thought.
It's
Oh, man.
well, look, this story is a tragedy, and it's a highlight. It's a very bright spotlight on corporate on corporations and corporate America and just corporate thinking and how numbers will always matter more than you as a person, and that there is one thing driving all of these companies in the world, and it's profit, baby. And if we ain't making money, we don't care what's happening. Oh, we kill 4 of our guys? Pfft, doesn't matter. We can't stop the pipe. We got to make money, baby. And that's what it really boils down to. At the end of the day, if you are working in a company that's probably, I don't know, like more than 100 employees, you're probably just a number for them. And this is a very solid, bright spotlight reminder that these companies don't care about you. And they only care about one thing, and it's profit. That's it.
That is such a real point. Can't say it's the most exciting point to end on. Will, wrapping thoughts.
I think I've said enough.
I think so. I think you're probably right.
I think I've said enough. It screwed up. Those poor bastards. The Applebee's bit's still funny though. I don't care.
Hey, we got one today. We got one. So when I wrap this thing, did we make you laugh? Did we make you think? We made you laugh. So that means you have to hit the like button.
I mean, they definitely thought about how fucked up it was.
Yeah.
It's definitely not good. All right.
Not
My
at all.
wrapping thought is going to be this. I want to piggyback off of silence because it is kind of the crescendo of it all. This world is driven by profit insofar as you let the world be ruled by consumerism. But while we could sit here and belabor forever how terrible consumerism and capitalism is, we will always take the terrible symptoms of that system when it's outweighed with all of the fruits. Capitalism killed 4 men in an oil tunnel. It also saved 1 million of your grandmothers with heart disease. So like there is a balance to this world. We isolate the terrible sides of consumerism and capitalism because they're easy to single out. They're instances and events that are clear. This is directly tied to profit. And yet we don't really see all of the kind and beneficial fruits of consumerism and capitalism. So when you live in a world with the most sophisticated medicine, the most sophisticated technologies, equipment, education, all of that comes from a world with competition, forcing that evolution. So what does that mean? That doesn't mean we ignore the 4 men in the tube because we love having heart disease cured. That means we can always strive for better as we acknowledge that this is still probably the best way to do it. We can continue to get better by having these conversations, pointing out these issues, and holding these types of companies accountable. It would be beautiful to try to follow the tree to where the accountability is. Who is the oil company I hold most accountable? If it's Shell and Texaco that buy their oil from this company, I make my voice heard that I want 4 men freaking saved next time by not ever getting my gas at those locations. So it's how do you defeat these evil symptoms of consumerism? Sorry, baby cakes. It's on you. You need to be an educated consumer. The only way you defeat the symptoms of consumerism is you being aware of what those symptoms are so you can skirt them as they come. But if you're going to continue to plow through this world as an ignorant consumer, I'm not going to bat an eye when you walk right into the bear trap. So, Doug, I flip it to you for wrapping thoughts as we close out this show.
I think it's insane that they were left there. Like you hear all these. What are some great movies? Well, a lot of great movies involve these historic
Top Gun
rescues. No, like the Chilean miner rescue, soccer team in Thailand with stuck in a tunnel. Like there are all these dramatic rescues that cost a lot of money. All those rescues cost money. You know what it also gets you? A lot of great PR as a company. You were willing to rescue your people, but they decided PR was not worth as much as these people's lives. They decided that the money for losing that time was not worth it. Honestly, I think the PR, the movies and stuff that may have come from a dramatic rescue would have probably made up for what they would have lost for one day of shutting down. But it was all a business decision.
I love that point, but circling the drain of how these were the number crunchers and their life and their whole, the highest sophisticated systems of
but were
crunching
the
these
miners
numbers.
worth their money though?
I think they evaluated all of that. Tax write-offs, PR moves, marketing schemes, how it can benefit us. And Doug, you're 100% right when we talk about really any other form of business. But the scary part is this is how deep the pockets of oil go. Oil pockets are so deep that we're talking about billions of dollars a minute. You know what I mean? So like you're right when there's no profit to be made about, a soccer team in the mountains, they're not losing billions an hour. But this is there's the whole world's heartbeat pumps on oil. So we're talking about an industry that every waking minute makes it far from achievable to even that consideration of millions is pennies to them. Whereas, and at the same time, though, it should never be about money. You should be able to make it the message to the world of taking a hit of $40 billion for the sake of 4 humans, sending the beacon, the message to the world that this is the value of a human life, and infinitely past that's invaluable. However, to get to a position where you make the decision to flush the tube and ignore the people, to get to that position, people like you, me, Will, people with a heart that wouldn't step on the back of a human being to get there. Yeah, we're not in those positions because it takes those sacrifices to be the one steering that ship. And then we act surprised when they make those decisions. It's an unfortunate reality, but also I circle back to it's on balance with the fruits that come of it. And that's why the only way to combat these situations is not to eliminate the system itself, but to hold the system accountable by not being quiet about it. I ain't shutting up and just going to Applebee's. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep plucking. There's a lot to talk about here.
Well, I mean, it's like, what? Do you think they really have the cure for cancer? But it's more worth giving you cancer.
There's more
like,
money in treating than curing.
Right. So,
Yes.
right. And it's like same with the oil thing either. It's like for them, that's just a liability that they just kind of had to eat.
Yes.
And it's someone who was 48 years old.
Wild. Wild.
You're circling the drain thing, though, was one of the funniest segue things I've ever heard in my life. Doug wasn't showing it. I could not stop laughing off screen. That was like so seamlessly worded in there. I couldn't tell if it was on purpose or not. Made me lose my shit.
It's just a little Easter egg for the people at home.
Genius. And then you went on a beautiful monologue. I was like, don't interrupt it. But I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. I was crying. I was almost crying.
So let's bring Silent back in here as we close down the show. Silent, we appreciate you giving us your time. Tell the folks at home where they can find you.
Thanks, guys, for having me. As always, I'm live every single day. Kick.com/Silent Destroyer.
Say one more thing so you could get a full roll of your Silent stuff on the
Also,
screen.
I am uploading videos on YouTube every day, so make sure to subscribe on YouTube.
Yes. And then I'm going to be making him post clips too. So
Yep.
look out for those clips.
I will be posting clips for sure.
All right. Following up with that, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. For the folks that are streaming our video, because we do this as a podcast, you can find it wherever you get your podcast. So whether it's Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, or just wherever, we're across them all. iHeartRadio. So if you've missed a Tuesday, of course, we'd like you to check it out on YouTube so you can literally see help spelled out in the sand and trash. But, if you need to just stream it, we're there too. So thank you for the guys that are catching us there, and we'll be there every week. But if you want to catch it early and live, and like the folks that were here with us, be a part of the conversation, be sure to join us every Tuesday at 7 p.m. I want to thank OMG WX and Brian Richardson and Just Another Day TV and everybody else that have been jumping into the comments to, again, add their perspective. That's what makes the live show so pertinent. That's the whole purpose of this thing. Doug and I have our Sunday show. We're not going to be doing the Sunday show live anymore because I want to have cleaner edits with that. So you could catch it. It'll be released at 11 on Sundays. So look for that on Sunday mornings. Still wake up and have a cup of coffee with us. We're not going to be having the Sunday football review this week. Me, Will, and Doug have our Sunday football review. We're holding that off for a Super Bowl special. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you and Doug right now that prepare for like a dense episode. That's going to be huge. I have so much for that episode. It's going to be so fun.
I'm going to be out of town.
Doug, you and I
I'm
have
just-
so much.
I just-
I know. I was like, dude, if you think you're escaping the ices you're gonna have to chug, you're wrong. They'll follow you. They'll be here waiting. Go out of town.
Yeah, we'll drink it
They'll
in
be
ice.
back here.
I know. Heaven forbid. I bet on America's team just for them to. I'm not gonna say it. I gotta say for the. I have a lot to say about the Buffalo Bills.
And again, watch us peel back that onion and join us on Sunday. That's another live show, but that's on our reactions channel, Rethink Actions. So we've got all these different things, like I had suggested earlier, Thursday morning, always at 6 a.m. Eastern time. Silent Destroyer and I did a podcast, and it's a really dense and fun podcast. My sales pitch to you is we lay out a very complicated philosophical conversation about criminal order, and it seems so vague and so deep, it's almost impossible to come to a conclusion. And the way the episode perfectly comes full circle to present an actual conclusion and an answer to our inquiry makes it one of my favorite episodes. So look forward to that coming out Thursday. And if you're looking for one central place to find all of this content across the platforms, you can find it at our website, and that's at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. You know, I couldn't tell if Silent was just getting excited to announce the website, the www, or you know, it's a streamer talk. W is in the chat. W is in the chat.
GG's.
GG's. So again, thank you everybody for joining us. We go live each week. If we made you laugh, I forgot to say this part because I did flirt with it earlier. If we made you laugh and we made you think, the best thing you could do to support this episode is like the show. Wherever you're watching it, like it, share it, because if you liked it, that means someone else will too. And we're fighting algorithms that don't want truth and connection getting out there. So help us out and spread it along, because that's what we're up against, and it's the best way to support what we're doing each week. So catch us next week live Tuesday 7 p.m. Thank you for your time. Peace.